I was just looking at myself on the camera. I was like, this blush is a little much. But anyway, I hope it's not. Maybe it's just the camera. Hey guys, how have y'all been? I hope you guys have been doing great. You know, I always wish the best for all of you and for everyone. And I want everybody to be good, you know? I decided to wear this jacket for this video because I had it in my closet before it fit me, and then I lost my weight, and then I don't think I wore it once. And so today I saw it in my closet and I'm like, I'm going to put it on for the video. But it's hot. It's so hot. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this decision, but I'll be all right. I have to wipe down my sweat because I'm sweating because this jacket's hot. But I mean, it's cute, right? And that's why I wanted to wear it, because I'm like, before I know it, it's not going to fit me anymore because it already fits me a little big, as you can see. And I'm like, it's not going to fit me anymore, and I'm going to give it away, and I'm not even going to wear it but like one time. So I'm like, I'm going to wear it for the vid. Anyway, I recorded a video on working on myself and how I've been working on myself, and how I did shadow work, and how I've been really healing myself from the inside out. A lot of healing has to take place inside before it can show outside, if that makes any sense. Anyway, but I've been doing a lot of work on myself, and I want to share here on YouTube my progress with it, what I've been doing to work on myself, to make myself a better person. So this video is going to be about recognizing your toxic traits. Because I know that we all want to think that we're perfect, right? But we're not. You know, we all have our things that we do, sometimes subconsciously. Sometimes we don't even know that we're doing them. But we could be toxic and we don't even know. We could be doing toxic things and we don't even know. So on this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about when that started happening to me, when I started noticing the things that I do that are toxic, and how I'm learning to get rid of that, because nobody likes toxicity in their life, including myself. That's what this video is going to be about. Recognizing your toxic traits and how to work to get rid of them. Because ain't nobody have time for that. One thing that is good to do is stand back and see yourself in the third person. Like if you're not yourself, like if you're just looking upon somebody else, kind of judging yourself. I know it's not good to judge people, but I think when you're judging yourself, like, it's okay, because you're doing it from a place of trying to get better. You're doing it from a place of healing, and seeing how you act, seeing how you respond to situations, how you act around other people. And I think that if you do that, that's going to help a lot, because a lot of times we don't see our own faults. We don't see our own toxic traits because, well, it's us. Like, we don't have toxic traits, right? So stepping back in the third person really helps with seeing your own faults. And another way that you can tell is if life, if God, if the universe is trying to teach you something, is trying to get you to change something, is when something keeps repeating itself in a loop. You keep on making the same mistake, and then you do it again. And you do it again. Whether it's in life, whether it's in choices we make, whatever it may be, if something constantly keeps repeating itself in your life, then you got to make some changes. You got to make some changes, because you can't be living in a loop. I know we all make mistakes and we're not perfect. But when you make a mistake, you got to learn from it. And you got to say, I'm not going to make the same mistake again, because I don't want to be living in a loop and not getting to the next step in my life, not getting to the next level. You know, it's like a video game, right? See your life like a video game. So if you keep on making the same mistakes in a video game, you're going to stay doing the same thing, right? The same thing, stuck in the same place. But if you learn from the mistake that you did on that game and you apply what you learned, you get to move to the next level. That's exactly the way it is with life. That makes so much sense when you think of your life and when you think of things in your life and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, that's how it happened to me. I started realizing that things that I was going through, that I was living in my life, were kind of like self-caused by me, because I wouldn't change the way that I thought. I wouldn't change the way that I acted. I was like a mess. No, I wasn't a mess, but it definitely did help as far as like to try to heal myself and to try to like not be a toxic person, not have toxic qualities, even though it's always an ongoing thing of learning each and every day, because we learn every day and we make mistakes every day, and every day we gotta improve ourselves because you want to get to the next level, right? You want to get to your purpose. You want to get to the reason that you're here. You can't do that if you're going in loops. So gotta make some changes. Yeah. And I'm going to share with you a few of my toxic traits that I've discovered along the way in this healing process. I used to be the type of person, and I still catch myself doing this sometimes, but I like catch myself and I'm like, no, stop it. Because I used to be the type of person that I used to think that people thought. Listen, I used to think that people thought things of me. Like, for example, I would be like, yeah, I know that this person thinks this and this and this of me. And I know they probably say this and this and this and this of me. And I would put that in my head, and I would put that in my head so much so that I would believe it. I would believe that this person didn't like me, or this person talked about me, and it would just bother me. Like, I would be like, oh, like I would actually get mad. Like I would actually like start like even cursing at this person in my head and like making up my own story. And for a long time, I lived like that. For a long time, I kind of like tortured myself with that stuff. But then I started recognizing it. And I started saying, no, wait a minute. Like, how are you going to say that? How are you going to think that? Those are negative thoughts that you're saying about yourself. Because that person may not even be thinking of you. That person may not even care, or may not even be thinking anything negative of you. But because of your thoughts that you're saying, like all this stuff that, oh, they probably say this and this and this about me, and they probably don't even like me. And like, no. And if that's the case, then who cares? Who cares? Don't worry about stuff like that. I know that was one of my faults. I used to do that all the time. I used to always think that people would think negatively of me. And I don't know why. And I think that comes from, my own trauma, where I would think negatively about myself. So I was like, kind of like projecting my own insecurities, my own negative self-thoughts. I was projecting that on other people. I was saying that they thought that of me without me even knowing if they did or not, And so I used to do that a lot. And I started catching myself doing that, and I started changing that. Like, it even makes me feel better. It makes me like feel more free, more at ease. Like, girl, don't do that to yourself. So that's one of the things I would do. Another thing I would do was that I would get offended for everything. Somebody could say something and then I thought, oh, they're probably saying it because of me. I'm still working on that because I still tend to get offended sometimes, but I recognize it. And I'm like, I shouldn't be like that, because sometimes people aren't trying to offend you, but they accidentally do. And they even feel bad. Like, I've done it myself, where I've said things or made comments about people or about situations. And then later on, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that could have been offensive to this person. Like, why did I say that? I wasn't even thinking. And so somebody could say something that you might think is offensive to you, But in reality, they probably didn't even realize that they said it. Or don't get me wrong, I still like stand up for myself. Of course, if somebody is trying to be rude to me, I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to let them be rude to me. But I don't really get offended or like hold grudges. I decided not to do that because life is a lot better if I don't act like that. And so those are a few of my toxic traits that I found in myself. Little by little, I'm getting rid of them. Like sometimes I do catch myself still like here and there, It's a process. And as long as you're recognizing it and you're doing something to change it, then that's all you need to do. And it has to be daily. Now, some toxic traits that I can give you examples of. Now, these aren't mine, but these are just examples of toxic traits that people could have, so that you can recognize them too if you've got some. So one of them is the person that's always complaining. They are complaining about this or about that or about something hurting. If they go out to eat, about something wrong with the food or something wrong with the restaurant or something wrong with the store they went to, they're always complaining about something. Now, I bet you they don't even realize that they're being toxic. But like, it does get on your nerves, right? When you're around somebody like that, that's constantly complaining, you're just like, dang, like, okay, I get it. It's like they take the fun out of things. So that's a toxic trait. So if you complain, don't complain that much because we're blessed. Every day we're blessed. Another toxic trait is victimizing yourself, playing the pity party, or victimizing yourself to get people to do other things for you. My mom used to do that when I was little with one thing. Like if she needed a favor from somebody, she would victimize herself rather than ask for the favor. Like for example, if she needed to borrow some money, right? Say she needed to borrow like $50 to like cover a bill or something. She would tell the person that she wanted to borrow it from, she would be like, oh, well, I got the light bill and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to have enough to pay for it. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if they're going to shut it off. And I'm not saying this is exactly word for word what she would say, but it's an example of how she would do it. And I remember that I would hear her sometimes tell people stuff like that. And it wasn't necessarily money. It could be different situations. It could be doing her a favor, like translating or like taking her somewhere or just going somewhere with her. I don't know how I'm going to get over there. And I remember that I would hear her do this and I would tell her, I would be like, Mom, why don't you just ask? Like, why don't you just ask them, hey, can I borrow $50? Or, hey, can you take me over here? Or, hey, can you go with me to the doctor so you can translate for me? I remember I asked her that and she's like, no, well, it's because if you tell them that and they don't say nothing, it means that they don't want to help you. And I'm like, oh, okay. But, now that I stand back and look at that, like that's a toxic trait because you're kind of like victimizing yourself to get other people to do what you want or to get other people to help you. And that's not cool, so don't victimize yourself because you are not a victim. Maybe you were, but you're not. You're not a victim. And if you keep that victim mentality, then you are going to be a victim forever. But we cannot victimize ourselves. And I'm going to make another video about that because I found out that I had been victimizing myself for a long time. And I didn't even know until I had like a wake-up call. But that's a whole separate video because it's very interesting on how I found out that I was victimizing myself quite a bit. So I guess that was another toxic trait I had. And I was doing it without even knowing. But, it happens. Also, people that are pessimistic. Oh, my gosh. That is a bad toxic trait. My mama had this trait. I remember when I told my mom that I was going to start college. She's like, well, how are you going to do it? Because you have work, because you have your daughter, she's little. How are you going to do it? You're not going to be able to do it. And like, she would literally talk you out of like doing something good for yourself. And I'm not saying that if I had more like a confidence boost from her that maybe like I would have finished school, because I went to college but I didn't finish it. I don't know if I would have finished it or not. Like, I don't want to blame her for that because I hated college, but I don't know. I mean, like, she should have been more like, yeah, you can do it, girl. But no, she was always telling me everything why I couldn't do it. And I remember even whenever I was going to take my daughter to vacation in Florida, I was going to take her to Disney World. And I was so excited to take her because I always wanted to go there when I was little, and I never got to go. So I was like, I want to take my daughter. I took her there for her 5th birthday, you know, and I was so excited about it. And I remember when I told her, she was like mad. She was like, you take care of her so much. You watch over her so much, and you're going to put her in that danger. And I'm like, what danger? Like, I'm taking her with me. It's not like I'm sending her by herself. And she's all like, no, like the danger of like being in such a big city and being in a plane and like all this stuff. And I'm like, ay, mama, cálmese, mama, cálmese. It's gonna be okay. But I remember she used to be like that. I guess it was something that would scare her a little bit, something unknown. And she was like, no, no, no. It's very easy to not recognize your toxic traits. So step back, look at yourself, and start recognizing them. And if you do have toxic traits, it's all right. It's okay. Just work on them and catch yourself and correct them. Realize that you don't like toxicity and other people don't like toxicity. So, no, you don't want to be that. You want to be the best version of yourself each and every day. And I believe in God. I always ask God, too, to help me. I always tell him, God, Father, what you don't like of me, point it out to me and help me change it. Without fail, he lets me know. That little voice that you hear sometimes when you do things and it makes you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. That's the Holy Spirit. And it's telling you that it's wrong. And it's telling you that you've got to change it. So maybe you believe in it. Maybe you don't. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the angels. I believe in the Holy Spirit. And I believe in the universe. To me, in my eyes, the whole universe was created by God. And so I believe in all of it. And so I always ask God for guidance. I ask my angels for guidance. And I ask the Holy Spirit. And I thank them for guiding me and for letting me know when I'm messing up. Because they will. If you ask them, they will. And they'll help you out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video helps somebody out there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to like my video. It really means a lot to me. And don't forget to leave me a comment also. Tell me, did you recognize some of your toxic traits? Or are you good? Do you not have any? If you don't, congratulations. But a lot of us do. And admitting that is okay. Because you know what? After you admit it, you can recognize it. And you can correct it. And that, my friend, is what it's all about. About being the best version of yourself each and every day. But thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for watching this video. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.